going to be Team Phobos for you today, and Kings Row is going to be our first stop.
Yeah, and Kings Row on this defense, Phobos is going to run the triple tank combination, so there's a lot of HP here on this defense. They're going to hold this high ground, a very common tactic we see among these high-level players, and for good reason. I mean, it's such a hard tactical advantage to kind of break.
Yeah, it really takes care of the double sniper that we know a lot of teams like to run on attack here, because it's in order to get around that shield, you need to get into a bad position yourself where the enemy team can take you out. So on defense here, Apex is in a very tough spot to break through this defense that Phobos is bringing out.
Yeah, but good job already. They've already knocked around half the team down. I mean, I don't think, ooh, Tyler's going to get a pick, and look at all these picks starting to get open up here.
Yeah, it is going to be look at those snipers coming out. We've got 2 kills on the attack there, but of course the sniper on the other side, it's going to be Quick Mags getting a kill. Looks like Jersey's in some hot water here, but does make it out alive. So we have this very long sustained fight, which is not what I would have expected with all of these snipers. And here we go with the kills right now. We're going to get Quick Mags out of there quickly, and Tyler popping off with a 2K.
Oh yeah, that's all they needed to do was just kind of break their advantage on the high ground, and they knew they would be able to take that fight just because they trust in the skills and mechanical skills of their snipers. So as soon as they drop down, their snipers are going to start getting those picks, and like you pointed out, Tyler popping off there.
Yeah, and definitely love the positioning. You know, Tyler's always looking to get one of those exit kills, but man, it is so tough on the defense here. It's going to be Phobos in that great position with the Orisa. Definitely going to be a team battle here coming in, but Pablo getting bounced around does make it out alive with the Dragon coming in. It's going to be Jersey getting a kill onto that other Hanzo, but it might not be enough here because now shields are back in a position, and Quick Mags has some time to open up, gets the 1v1 kill onto the enemy team Widowmaker, and then look at this hog.
Oh, serial killer absolutely popping out, getting a triple there. Make that 4 eliminations. That's huge, huge play. And, you know, all you have to do is just shield break, and then once everyone has those ults, the ults start to engage, and that kind of leaves room for those tanks to get in. And with this, with these 2 tanks, they're running kind of the pulled pork combination, I guess you could say, where they're running Orisa and Roadhog, so there's a lot of movement abilities being denied here.
All right, and back at it again with those Orisa shields, just trading back and forth, but watch out, because here comes the D.Va Bomb with a 3K on the D.Va Bomb. Take a look at this. We've got an opening in this fight, and it's going to be just easy pickings for Horizon Apex walking in with that tank ultimate, and holy goodness, you got to give it up for that, opening up that fight.
Yeah, both these teams running that triple tank combination, but Apex seems to be kind of the one bullying their way through here because they're just creating room for Tyler to pop off just like that. He's going to take out Aegis, and that's a huge pick. There is no res for this next fight to start happening. And look, as soon as that res comes in, Apex is going to start to engage because they know every kill is a final kill. Now look at that. There goes Hapro.
Yeah, it's going to be another kill for this Widowmaker. Tyler has just been so dominant, even if you're not getting kills, just, you know, knowing the Widow's there really changes how you play, but sometimes headshots come out like that. What a shot by Tyler.
Tyler just has this high ground advantage, and he's just able to kind of push their way through here. All of the ults are going to come in out here for Phobos, just trying to delay these guys, and it is going to work out to them. It looks like they're going to finally be able to push them back. This is the first time they've been able to stop that momentum.
Yeah, Tyler not to be stopped, though, still getting kills even after the fight is completed, opening up a whole new opportunity for Team Apex to walk in. And man, you gotta love having somebody like Tyler on your team, so consistent with that damage, has the eyes available for the rest of his team. They're not pushing in yet, so this, you know, this time in, it is gonna be a 6v6 on the point. Enough time has gone by for the respawn to come back. Tyler needs to get another pick, help his team out on attack.
Now, these are what these DPS are designed to do, but look, this D.Va Bomb's going to go in, and it's going to find 2 big picks.
It wasn't me. Yes, it absolutely was, with another 3K on the D.Va Bomb, and then the rest of the team is just there. Team Apex is firing on all cylinders. Even the times that they got stopped, it felt like the fight was still going their way. It just gave them a chance to respawn, settle in, and then just absolutely decimate any defense that was put in their way.
Yeah, Phobos really only stopped them once during that whole attack. As soon as they came out of the gates, Apex was ready to start fighting, and boy, did they show their preparedness here. You know, honestly, if they're able to perform like this in scrims, I mean, you have to watch out. They're such a scary team, and once the games start becoming real and, you know, the records actually start mattering, Apex, it just looks like a hard team, especially when they get that momentum rolling.
Yeah, and, you know, the unsung hero here is the support staff on Horizon Apex. when it comes to having, players like Tyler are obviously going to be getting picks, and that's what you need. But when it comes to keeping your tanks up, enabling the tanks to steal the positioning from the enemy team, the more positioning your tanks have, then DPS like Tyler can come in and pop off. But it really comes down to, do the supports stay alive long enough in the fight to enable all of those next steps? And that's exactly what's happening on Team Apex right now.
Yes, absolutely. Archimage is doing the best job of honestly one of the best jobs I've seen on Mercy. Staying behind the takes, not overextending, not getting caught out really anywhere. I mean, the both teams were running that triple tank combination, and both of them were running that Roadhog. So, I mean, if Archimage played terribly, he could have Archimage could have been caught out by a Roadhog or something, get hooked, and then that's up to their tanks to kind of save Archimage. But that never really happened. Archimage positioning was so on key, and I agree with you, pumping that healing into their tanks, keeping them alive, letting them create that space for Tyler to pop off. All three roles, tank, DPS, and support line, they're all kind of working in tandem to try to make each other, make the team in general just kind of roll through them.
All right, so doors are going to be opening up here. Phobos on the attack. Hapro and Quick Mags are going to get a very quick pick, but we've got Hoplo holding the high ground for defense on Team Apex. And I'm a little bit surprised that, Archimage is on this Mercy. I would have expected a Moira, but it looks like everything's going fine because the team is up getting some kills. It is going to be reversed by Solid.
Oh yeah, I mean, tanks are going to start dropping down, but still, Orisa and Tyler are holding this high ground. Haplo is just keeping that shield up for Tyler to get some picks, and that's such a dangerous situation. A serial killer is actually going to get pulled in by Azure, and that's a pick, maybe for Phobos to start moving in.
Yeah, but, when we saw Quick Mags, he had no good line of sight. So very smartly playing this right now is Horizon Apex. And finally, with the line of sight advantage, Tyler taking out his counterpart. The 1v1 goes to Tyler on that one. But it does look like there's going to be at least a tick to be gotten here for the side of Phobos. And where's Team Apex? They're still holding high ground.
They're still trying to keep this tactical advantage, maybe letting their DPS get some picks. Serial Killer is on this Tracer now, so he's just going to try to run some circles on Phobos to see if he can get him up. It looks like they've been able to hold him up for right now, but we'll see if this Dragon makes a difference here, pushing Apex back.
Yeah, a lot of kills coming in for the side of Phobos. This may be the moment that they need to take this point. And I got to tell you, I'm with you on Apex holding up the high ground there. You let that tick go by, but hopefully what's meant to happen is with your Junkrat in a high ground good position, he's got the shield, he can get a couple of kills. Now, unfortunately, it didn't go that way, and at the end of the day, it was Phobos getting the better of that exchange.
Yeah, Serial Killer switching onto that Tracer just to contest. I mean, that just shows how much the pressure was getting put on by Phobos there. But they are able to take it, and the payload is going to start moving. Azure's just going to kind of sit on there while his team advances to put the pressure on. It's such a good strategy that we see here, because if you push this pressure on them, I mean, really, they get to walk outside the door, walk outside the spawn, and look, they have walls now, so they see everyone.
Yeah, Dersey picking up that kill right there. He does have the tire available. Now, we love the tire around here because it can close off a fight before it even begins. Here comes the tire right now. Dersey very, very smartly picking and choosing his moment, trying to get the surprise factor. It takes out the Mercy. What an opening pick here. That is huge for Horizon Apex.
That essentially stopped, like you said, stopped the push before it really even began. The tanks are going to fall back. They have no healing for them to kind of come out here, because the Mercy was really their only support line. So once that Mercy's gone, I mean, that could be a weak point. You guys will focus that Mercy, because then they have no healing. All the damage you do is final.
Yeah, and now we're in a position where Phobos has several ultimates online for them. If they're going to win this fight, they got to do it right now, and they're going to be investing 2 ultimates right there already, so they really want to get this win here, but nobody's together. Oh no, here we go with the kills, and it's like he doesn't need anybody together. He's going to get the 4K all by himself.
Oh yeah, shouts out to the Orisa as well. Aegis kind of grouped them all up with that hold, not letting them run away for that Diva Bomb to kind of get them on. Goodness gracious. That's a way to kind of turn your fortunes around. And now this payload is going to get moving. Pretty much by the time Apex is able to contest, it might already be there just a couple meters away.
Yeah, and I was a little bit worried about that fight coming in, but then obviously we saw that Diva Bomb, which just absolutely opened up the point there. But getting close to this next point, it looks like there's going to be one more fight. Dragon is going to be coming in. It's more of a zoning Dragon trying to get some damage out. Here comes a Transcendence, but it's not going to be stopped because Hapro still is able to kill the Reinhardt and nobody touched point.
Oh no, they invested some ults into that, but that's gonna be a steamroll. It wasn't me is able to demix Swinky Tigers. That's a tiny bit of a status. You don't have a Diva defense matrix to deal with coming out, but hey, I mean, they have to find some way right now to kind of stop these guys. And look, Quick Mages is gonna take that high ground right there, so it's a duel between the Widowmakers. Tyler's gonna try to take him out.
Yeah, Tyler has been just winning a lot of these 1v1s, but he is starting to take some damage. Down on the floor, though, we've got the Reinhardt walking in, but finally Tyler finds the shot he needs. The res does come in. We're back to a 66 on the point here. Tyler's going to have to do that again, but eyes are coming out on both sides, so the whole team knows where everybody else is. First kill going to half row, and then we've got that Zarya serial killer coming in for the 4K.
Yeah, that's the role of an off tank. I mean, you're still a tank with that high HP, but really your design is not really the main tank to protect your team. You're kind of there to do a little bit of damage, and that's what Serial Kill is showing us here, getting all of those final blows after the Graviton Surge. And goodness gracious, there doesn't need to be a follow-up if Zarya is doing that.
And Swanky Tiger just really trying to get some energy here. That's what you need, and that's what Serial Killer has had. Already 50% to another Graviton Surge. Another kill for Tyler. I don't know if anybody's been keeping track of this, but Tyler and Jersey just popping off there.
Oh, goodness. And look at that. The Transcendence has kind of healed the team up. So even after that fight, you think, okay, well, at least they took some damage so that if we re-engage quickly, you know, they're still at a disadvantage. But nope, that Transcendence is going to heal everyone up. Team Apex is at full strength right now. And this is just looking like an uphill climb for Phobos.
Well, Phobos does have the advantage with that Mercy Valkyrie. Archimage not back to his yet, but he is getting there quickly. I'm really surprised we haven't seen a fight sooner than this. Very slow to walk in is Phobos, and paying for it with their lives, just standing in direction of Jersey, and that's not where you want to be.
But no, Jersey, I mean, look at this. You give these guys, you give Apex an inch, they'll take a mile. You slip up just a little bit. Apex is going to pounce on that opportunity. Both DPS, Jersey, or Tyler, it doesn't matter. They'll be able to pop off, and look, they're just holding that front line. Serial Kill is going to get, oh no, he just got res, and he goes down yet again. So, no mercy, no res.
Yeah, and Phobos either needs to just walk in and take the fight, or they need to stand out of line of sight. You cannot give the DPS on Horizon Apex that much time.
Oh,
It
no.
looks like that was the combo coming in. That's all she wrote. 4 kills for the combo, walking in a serial killer. So again, another fight has been completely stopped before Phobos had a chance to initiate. Now Phobos is in a little bit of a better position. They do have, you know, the ult advantage on the enemy team, almost 6 ultimates, so they should be able to do something here.
But, I mean, Apex still has both support ults, so they are able to survive for a long time. So you have to pick your ults wisely, and that's a good pick right there. Ooh, now the picks are coming in at 2 essential ones as well.
Yeah, the damage just flowing in there, and Jersey says, how you doing to Quick Mags, takes her out very quickly. So we're finally getting some picks, and this might be time for Horizon Apex to regroup, get back to 6 power, and figure out how are we going to win this next fight, because Phobos is looking very strong, starting to get the snowball together, and they still have 4 ultimates.
Right, yeah, I said it was an uphill climb earlier, but it looks like they've reached the top of that hill, and now they're rolling down with all this momentum, and it's up to Apex to kind of catch that ball before it hits the floor and stop them there. And this Graviton, ooh, they're able to live through with the Transcendence. I was worried that it was damage boosted, and that wouldn't have meant anything, but they're able to live through it for now, and Apex is finally turning this around. Good use of the Transcendence there.
Yeah, the Transcendence was definitely a good call in that moment. I mean, you know, even if everybody died in that grab, the 2 snipers are still just having a field day for Horizon Apex. Got several kills while that was happening. Now Horizon Apex has Jersey with the Dragon, and we're in a position where Phobos has to walk in. They're going to be walking into a kill zone here.
Oh yeah, and I feel like the DPS for Phobos is kind of always concentrated on the other DPS like Tyler and Jersey, just because they have to be. If they don't pay attention to them, look at this, Quick Mage is finally going to kill Tyler before he gets rezzed up, but that's a super important pick. And Tyler goes down again, and Phobos to get the ball rolling. This is it. This is crunch time. Let's see if they can touch this point.
Yeah, Quick Max with an insane snapshot right there, taking out the Hanzo Jersey before he was able to use his Dragon. Nobody's able to touch, so it sounds like that pick from Quick Mags may have been more than it seemed. I mean, it was a fantastic shot, but you know, Jersey had the Dragon available. He was trying to contest cart, maybe throw his Dragon into a position he knew the enemy team had to be on since it was overtime. but that was completely destroyed. All of his hopes and dreams, his plan to try to save that push was stopped with quick mags and that insane flick headshot.
Oh yeah, absolutely insane. I mean, these four snipers even throughout this whole match is showing how good it is to be mechanically inclined. And oh goodness, watching these players play is such a treat. And I honestly feel privileged watching them play just because they're so good. But all right, here on the defense, it's gonna be Phobos. They have a tough task ahead of them. It feels like. It seems like they only really need to get the first tick, and they win this game because they went to overtime. So, oh, never mind, actually.
Yeah, typically for anybody watching at home, a little bit confused there. Typically, since it's a scrims, these are practice games. We don't like to go through the same map multiple times. We want to make sure that everybody has a chance to practice on a map. If it ends up that another round needs to be played, it'll usually be skipped just so we can get the next game going a little bit faster.
Right, yeah. And then we're going to move on to a control map here. And this is where I feel like teams their mechanical skill needs to shine because really, I mean, there's not really, the landscape isn't going to change too much like it is on an escort map or a hybrid map like Kings Row, where you're moving the payload and then like, okay, so they're going around the corner. Now we have different places to set up. On control maps, and especially Helios, the map isn't going to change. So really, it's just a duel on the same point over and over again. It's really not going to change up in any single way. And I feel like that's where the DPS are going to need to shine.
Well, you got a great map for it here. We're at Helios Ruins, and everybody knows this map is dictated almost entirely by the Widowmaker. We do see Quick Mags already locking in on that Widow, knows where the place is. Tyler is doing exactly what we expected. So, a lot of these maps, especially King of the Hill maps, it comes down to which tanks are able to get to the space they need faster and hold that space. Here on Ruins, this is all about the Widow. The Widow who gets the better of the first 1v1 almost always has her team win the first fight. So it's really going to be down to Quick Mags versus Tyler, who gets the first pick.
And I agree. I mean, look, like as you said, it all depends on who gets there first, who gets set up first in order to start taking some shots. And both main supports are going to be on the Lucio, then they'll switch over to Mercy after they speed boost their team out there. Archimage switching, and maybe no, never mind. So it's only going to be Archimage with the Mercy, and that could be an advantage because you have the res with the Mercy. While Phobos doesn't.
Very quiet way to open up. We do start hearing those Widow bullets singing back and forth, and it's going to be Quick Mags getting Tyler. One shot needed, and the Mercy being down too makes this almost impossible for Horizon Apex to do anything. So the first fight with the side of Quick Mags getting that pick, and of course the rest of his team following up. This is huge for Phobos.
Look at the pressure they're putting on them. They're all the way back at their spawn. I mean, that's a little too dangerous because Tyler can start taking some shots on you, and Swanky Tiger's going to get a little bit of stagger so that when the fight starts, maybe there won't be a Brigitte there by the time they start engaging. But the tank line is going to switch up, the tank line for Apex is going to switch up just a little bit. As Tyler goes down, Quick Max is finding these trades back and forth with him, and Tyler needs to start dueling him really on his front. So Tyler's going to get Raz, going to get a second chance at it.
Yeah, he looked right, looked middle, but did not see Quick Mags on the top left, taken out very quickly. But now we've got some kills coming in the way for Horizon Apex on the back of the tanks, but doesn't really seem like anybody's too interested in just walking into this Widow's sight line. Tyler showing you why, taking out Zenyatta very quickly.
Quick Max just has this high ground advantage. I mean, you're able to look down on them. It's up to Tyler to look up towards Quick Max on this high ground over here, and that's just such a hard thing because by the time you turn the corner and then look up, that Widowmaker's already looking down on you. And look at this. Apex is going to get stalled out again. If the Widowmaker wins the fight, it's like you said earlier, they dictate the whole map. If the Widowmaker wins the fight, then essentially you win the team fight because there's no one to contest that Widowmaker on that high ground, and that's just going to be another reset for Apex, and it's going to be about 70% by the time they engage again, and that's a lot of percent build up for Phobos. So even if they win this, ooh, that's so rough.
How about that? Quick Mags, I think, is 3, potentially 4-0 on Ruins right now, just showing us how it's done with that Widowmaker play. This might be, about another 15 to 20 seconds he just bought for his team. We're already at 85% almost to point cap, so Horizon Apex has got to get some sort of assault started very quickly here.
Yeah, usually if you don't understand the game and you're kind of watching the scrim, you're kind of confused because you're like, this is kind of a slow game. They're not really ever engaging, but it's because that Widowmaker really rules this map. The Dragon's gonna go out, not really gonna find anyone. He may have gotten moved around just a little bit, but Apex has to make their presence known on this point.
And it's going to be Dersey opening up with that giant Lucio pick. That's going to be huge for his team, but there's not enough damage to follow up. Here comes that Diva Bomb. Can she get anybody? Really just trying to zone out the enemy team, and it did great, but there needs to be some damage to follow up, and Dersey is answering the call.
Oh yeah, Dersey's answering that call. They're kind of pushing in here. Apex finally pushing in, and they kill Quick Max before he can even pop the sights or even get a pick, really. So the kills are coming in for Phobos, though, and it's just not enough damage. Quick Max ruling that map on Widowmaker.
Yeah, just staying alive. That's so much of what a Tracer needs to do. She's going to be getting that peck damage. If she's able to, one clip somebody, obviously that's even better. But the most important thing, especially in those, overtime situations, is stay alive. Reinforcements will be back if you can force the fight out long enough. That's exactly what happened. And I mean, really, the Tracer play, the Zenyatta play on the side of the Phobos there was fantastic to watch and kept that point in their control. But, it's a whole new map here, and Horizon Apex is going to be opening up with what looks to be some sort of dive.
Oh yeah, definitely some sort of dive. I mean, they would use they switched off after their first time, their tanks switched off to those dive tanks, which is the Winston Diva combination. It's a very popular combination, but they do have Dersey in the sky. They have a pharmacy to deal with now, and it's honestly, the role kind of falls on Quick Max to kind of get those picks as Hanzo to kind of take them down. But Archmage's going to get found out by that Winston.
Yeah, that Winston shows you exactly why he's on the battlefield, taking out the enemy Mercy, and it looks like so much damage is coming in. I love the focus fire that we see, and then, of course, Swanky and Quick Mags hitting their targets, getting those additional kills. So that was such an easy fight, and it all comes down to the great tank play by Aegis.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, he kind of asserted his dominance early, and he showed why dive works. You get in there, you have high mobility. You may not have as much HP or as much field control as other tanks, but the point is mobility in dive, and that kind of shows how that works there. But Tyler's going to open it up, finding a pick. Oh, look, the support's trading lives here on both sides.
Yeah, good aim on the side of Tyler might be stronger than that fantastic team comp that Phobos had. I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what your team comp is. If you're hitting your shots, you're probably going to win the fight.
Yeah, and look, they're able to assert their dominance here. Dersey has control of the sky now, so they have to play into them, and playing into this defense could be very dangerous, especially with the Hanzo Pharah combination on the DPS line. That's just such a hard thing to kind of play into.
Yeah, and Dersey being on this Pharah is huge for the defense. It's very hard to retake a point as Pharah, but if you're in control of the point and the enemy has to walk into you, that is exactly where Pharah wants to be, and it looks like she's getting rewarded with an early ultimate, doing a ton of damage here, and Horizon Apex has so much they can use. The question is, how are they going to open this fight? They have plenty of options.
Oh, they do have plenty of options. Look at all those ultimates that we can push in there, but they're still getting staggered. It wasn't me. It's going to find that Tracer while Quick Max again finds Tyler. He's had Tyler's number this whole map.
And there goes the Pharah barrage by Dersey. Somehow stayed alive throughout all that. Getting saved there at the end by the tank Hablo. 2 kills on 2 supports. Man, this is just a completely lost fight for Phobos. And the kills were coming in so slowly there. Apex maintained an advantage for about 30 to 45 seconds of one fight just by killing so slowly. Now there's even less time available for a retake.
Oh, yeah, and I feel like it's because they're staggering them. I mean, that's really the important role here, is that if they're able to get 1 kill and then keep the fight going, look at that, Hapro goes down, another stagger. That's like you don't really want to have your team play into a 6v5, but if they're going to keep killing you guys one at a time very slowly, I mean, that's just a hard thing to play on. All 5 of them are kind of grouped down here, waiting for Hapro to get back in this point. Luckily, Tracer, high mobility, is going to get back quickly, and they're able to go in, but the Diva Bomb's going to try to dismantle them.
Yeah, and Transcendence is going to be invested here, and it looks like that might be a free point swap, but no, it's not. Finally getting onto the point of the tanks for Horizon Apex. Bringing the fight to the point is exactly where you don't want to be if you're this Winston. You have nowhere to go. Paying for it with his life is going to be Hoplo going down first, and the rest of the fight looks like it's going over to Phobos. This is exactly what they needed because time is running out. If Horizon Apex can walk in with their 2 ultimates right here, maybe Tyler, now switching onto the Tracer, just wants to get that early pick, a little bit of pressure onto the back line. This is going to be the opening that Apex could use to win the map.
Ooh, and that's a stagger right there. I mean, Drake taking down one of their three supports, especially the one that's going to kind of give them that mobility and that burst healing. And another support goes down, so that's rough. While you lose the pharmacy comp, that's a trade. It's going to be a fight off the point right now.
Yeah, finally a few kills coming in for the side of Apex, but we're going to need at least 2 or 3 more to be able to get that fight back into your favor. It does not look like it's going to happen here. So Phobos in that very long, grindy fight somehow found a way to come on top with about 80% almost to the point cap. There is a chance for Horizon Apex to respawn. Hopefully nobody else dies here and then take the next fight.
Tyler was super close to backcapping that. It took a little while for Phobos to kind of realize that their point was getting taken there, but that's all right. They are able to get on it, and yeah, like you said, I could see an overtime fight coming on here right now. Let's see if Phobos has the defense to hold it. I mean, QuickMax on that McCree. You already see how mechanically inclined it is on those hit scans, so Jersey might have his hands full.
And while throwing that bomb, dies to the enemy Zenyatta, and I think that bomb may have disappeared into thin air. That does not look good. Finally getting some kills as Horizon Apex. They've got a little bit of life here. QuickMax just trying to stay alive on the point, take some kills in, and he is. 2K for QuickMax. Make that a 3. Is it going to be enough?
Oh goodness, he's trying to carry this team all by himself, and Phobos just doesn't look like they could go down. It seems like even when they're losing, it's still an over fight, and the Winston Shield is gonna
while hiding from the Diva Bomb, just a quick little flashbang headshot onto Tyler. QuickMax not only getting the kills, but he's really just showing off at this point.
Oh, these hit scans are so fun to watch just because I feel like hit scan is one of the hardest mechanically heroes to play. I mean, we can go back and forth and debate on that all day, but just in my opinion, I feel like it's just one of the harder things to see, and it's so flashy. You see why the cameras kind of love watching those DPS just because it's so fun to kind of watch that. And like you said, that flick at the end there with the flashbang headshot onto the tracer. I mean, that's all really just coming down to that skill. And I feel like Tyler's going to have to start finding QuickMag's number or he's going to dominate this map.
All right, but this is scary. Getting back to the double sniper is Horizon Apex. Tyler back on the Widow that we know so well, and Jersey onto the Hanzo. This is scary to walk into if you're going to be Phobos. I don't know that things are going to go that well for your Pharah if there's a Tyler on duty.
Yeah, Tyler is able to land those shots, and while Phobos is still running that dive, look at this, they're running triple take to go in there, but Archimage is going to go down first, and that's something you don't like to see out of Apex.
Yeah, losing your Mercy that quickly into the fight isn't a death sentence for the fight itself, but it means that you have to win within the next 4 seconds. If you don't start getting those picks quickly, this is exactly what happens. You have no mercy to keep anybody up. No res is going to be available. And although Horizon Apex does have their double sniper back on duty, now switching off is Tyler, Phobos is showing you the strength of the dive.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And it's a risk when they're running this one support. It's just, if he gets taken out first, if Archimage goes down first, then every damage that's dealt to you is final. There is just no healing coming out here unless you can find a health pack. And in the middle of the fight, it's hard, and you can see it. They're focusing him so hard, but Aegis is finally going to get taken down. The Tracer Bomb not really going to find anything.
Yeah, Serial Killer giving his team a little bit of breathing room, getting the kill onto the enemy team's main tank, so there's not going to be a Winston available for this fight. The second kill is going to be coming in on Jersey, finding that unlikely target in the Pharah. Very tough to hit, and then he follows it up with a headshot onto the trace. Hey, this Jersey can't be stopped. Look at this. He is just single-handedly destroying this point. Jersey, teach me.
Jersey just kind of owning this point all by himself. Goodness gracious, Archimage, you see, he just kind of put the pocket on the Jersey, and Jersey was able to win that out all by himself. Goodness, that's the power of that Hanzo. That's the power of Double Sniper, really. And Hapro is still on this fair, maybe only on it just to use the Rocket Barrage, but like you said, running into that Double Sniper, very dangerous. But actually, wait, Tyler is on Brigitte now, so he only really has to worry about Jersey.
A little bit surprised that Hapro let his presence known. He was in a good position for this barrage, but it doesn't look like anybody's able to respond to him because he does put down a ton of damage, opening up with the Pharah barrage, and that is Hapro on the flank, getting a 3K walking in.
Oh, there's only 2 alive, really, 4 to make that 1 alive on the point for Apex, as Archimage is the last one to go down, and that's going to be a full retake and restart for Apex, and they seem to find something that's working. They're able to kind of stagger him, get those slow kills, and get 1 or 2 picks before they start fully engaging the fight. And that's really what snipers do. But you have to be careful because they work. Phobos works as a unit, and look, they're just kind of going in here destroying this team.
But again, we saw that on the last map on Kings Road. The unit doesn't stand a chance against the aim of these snipers on Apex. Finally coming through with the kill is Dersey, but all of the ultimates are getting popped right now for Phobos, just trying to keep this fight alive. But they are investing a lot here, even investing beat on this fight. They really want to win it. 85% on cap seems to make sense, but then Hopro, oh my God, Hopro with the 2K.
Yeah, that's going to be a stomping end to this fight here, and I would even be impressed if Apex is going to touch it. But wait, there is someone in the backline over there. It looks like it wasn't me. He was back there. He was going to try to touch, but he was figured out, and no one's able to touch it from Apex, and that's just kind of the control advantage there. Like we pointed out earlier, Phobos kind of moves as a unit, and on control, I think that works well. Maybe on Escort it doesn't work too well, just because the map's always changing, and the point is moving where you need to stay. But if you're able to kind of take control of one area and shut down the DPS you need to shut down, even with Dersey popping off like that, it's still going to be impossible for Apex to get in there. And man, that's just a hard fight to win.
That's so hard. I got to give it up to Hoplo there with the play of the game, but I feel cheated because Dersey, Hoplo, I love you, but Dersey got like a 26K in one fight, all on his own, did not get play of the game. Feels unlucky, man. But yeah, I got to agree with you, especially towards the end there. We saw so much investment in Phobos, and at first I thought this might be a little bit premature. They really went all in on that fight, but they had the game sense to know if they won that fight, they invest everything. If they win that fight, then there's no chance for Apex to come back. Now, on the other hand, if they lose that fight, Horizon Apex only had about 30% cap. They could have just built ultimates 2-3 fights on the line to retake. So going all in on that moment, I think was a really, really smart heads up play by Phobos.
Yeah, it was a risk that they essentially took there. I mean, like you said, if they lose that fight, they use all of their ults and Apex takes the point back. So that would have been rough. But I guess they trusted in their mechanical skill, and they trusted in their strategy of kind of essentially doing like a dive version of Deathball. I mean, like they stuck together as a unit, and they really moved in. Their tanks kind of allowed their DPS to move around, and with nobody paying attention to Hapro on that Pharah, he was kind of one uncontested and was able to rain down some justice on them. And that's not going to really work if you're Apex. You got to start kind of figuring out a way to break through this uni here. But on an escort map, this could favor Apex because, like you said, with all these high grounds here, this is another map dictated by Pharah. Watchpoint Gibraltar just has so much high ground for Pharah. I mean, not Pharah, Widowmaker, sorry. Widowmaker to kind of just move around and is able to dominate the area, really. So it's up to Tyler to kind of take out his other opposite in Quick Mags.
Yeah, and taking a look at I've seen Azure play a few times now, and I can tell you, on the Zenyatta, Azure is also a sniper. The right clicks are going to be a huge deal here. It's very tough to dive. If Hoplo's going to be staying on this Winston, probably going to be switching here if they want to make that Bastion work, but anything's possible. 16 seconds until doors open. But, diving onto Azure on that Zenyatta is not always going to be a smart play. He is going to hit his shots, so you better make sure your whole team is there to see you do it.
Oh yeah, definitely, and we might see what I like to call the tea party, where both teams kind of jump up onto this high bridge right here, and the Winstons kind of taste each other for a little bit, but then they back out. So we'll see if that really happened. And yep, see, just as I was saying, I mean, I don't know. It's just something teams like
just getting to know each other. But as that's happening, Tyler opening up with the first pick, forcing Mercy to use her res. It is going to be a 66, but there's no resurrection available for Phobos in a very tough spot here. If there's another pick to be gotten by Tyler, and it doesn't look like it, Quick Mags is going to close that door very quick.
Very quick. I mean, Quick Match has had his number this whole match, and look, with the Widowmaker down, that opens it up for the defense. Not really be worried about getting one shot by anything. So the tanks are going to start to engage. The Winston Taser is going to start shocking everyone back into the spawn.
Yeah, so a moment to think here. Very advantage onto Tyler's side. If he does die again, it doesn't really matter. He's going to be respawning quickly. He's getting those shots, and the whole time people are paying attention to Tyler, Dersey walks in and gets a 2K on that Genji. 80% to Blade. Dersey is just showing off. He has no end to his hero pool. He can do anything.
Oh, really? I mean, on that Hanzo game, we're wiping out the whole team. Now on this Genji trying to carry his team to a victory here. The Blade is going to get engaged, and we'll see if it finds anyone. Dirt's going to get tasered to death.
And AKA Blade does come out, not going to get a whole lot of value. Unlucky. It looks like the fight is still going to be happening, though. The first pick does go down Dersey, but the rest of the team is still alive. Tyler finally taken out by a 2-shot from Quick Mags.
It's a little unfortunate because Haplo did invest Primal Rage into that, and that's not really what you want to do, is essentially in a losing fight. So they are going to restart with no main tinkle and no Blade and no Valkyrie, so it's just advantage definitely swings towards Phobos right here.
Just Quick Mags is absolutely terrifying. I can't imagine going up against him because you give him the smallest opportunity, and he's hitting these shots.
Oh, goodness. I mean, what more could we say about Quick Max? The mechanical skill this guy has. I mean, look at him. He's just kind of holding that high ground up there. And anybody who comes near him is going to get their head clicked on, and they're going to send right back to spawn. So it's going to be a respawn for Apex again. And the dive seems to be, I like the dive. It seems to be working on some points, especially when the fight engages, and especially if they give Dersey kind of room to pop off on that Genji. He's kind of able to get into that backline and cause some havoc, but it's just the tank line of Phobos is so on key with each other. I really never see Swanky and Aegis apart.
Yeah, very smart play. They're staying together, and Hopro has the bomb available. That's what I love about watching Phobos. They're so surgical. They were waiting to initiate this fight, saw the enemy team come in, but it's not looking like they're getting any picks, so there's no damage to be gotten here. Tracer Bomb was used, no value to be had. Dersey looking to open up this team right now for his own side, trying to stay alive there. I would deflect against that Quick Mags as well.
You want to do any prediction you can, but Dersey's going to pop that Blade, kind of get into the backline, as I said, and he took out both supports there, and that's huge because all damage done is now final. And look at this, the tank fight.
Dersey making up for that last Blade with a fantastic Blade opening up here. It looks like there are going to be some exit kills to be had. That Winston's going to be going down very quickly, so Phobos is going to lose about another 15-20 seconds while they wait for those respawns, and that's going to be free time on the point for Dersey and for Tyler to get a little bit ahead of point and try to stop the next push.
I was a little unlucky. I think they got the first spawn while the rest of the team got the farther spawn. So it's just a little bit of a spawn split. And, if you get spawn split like that, really, you just want to die as quick as you can to regroup with your team. And that's essentially what they did. They're back at full strength now, and they're ready to engage.
All right, that Winston bubble is going down eventually. Hoplo with the Primal Rage. Several other ultimates available for Apex, so they can really pick and choose this fight, not using anything as of yet. Walls are going to be gotten there, but there's just no stopping Hoplo. He's everywhere trying to do as much damage, but nobody's there to follow up with him. So now you can't leave Quick Mags alive for that long. So much has happened because Horizon Apex was not in the same place at the same time, and now we have Phobos in a position to take this fight back.
Oh yeah, and you can't let the DPS of Phobos get away. I mean, really, that's all. I mean, look at this. The tanks of Phobos are kind of diving on Tyler right now, and he's taken out. But where's that kind of pressure onto Phobos' snipers? I mean, that's really what needs to happen. Quick Max is going to keep popping up.
Yeah, Hoplo was in such a good position there. It didn't really feel like everybody was on the same page, but they are going to take the respawn here. Phobos back into a competent position with 4 ultimates available, almost all 6 ultimates coming up online. Horizon Apex really is hanging a lot of hope on Dersey's Blade, hoping that he can open up just like he did last time with the 3K.
Just hard because he doesn't really have anything to kind of combine with him. I mean, Archimage really has to pocket him, and if Archimage is going to get tasered to death because Aegis is always focusing him, there's no room for Apex to do anything again, and it's going to be another restart.
There's just so much time that's taken for Horizon Apex to get into the position they want to be, and all the while they're just taking a ton of spam damage, so they're not able to be effective when they get in there. Now we're just getting, staggers into next week. 50 seconds left on the clock. What is Horizon Apex going to be able to do differently this time that they haven't been able to do through pretty much all of these hangers?
I mean, they have 5 ultimates, so they just have to use them, really. A serial killer is going to get his bomb suited up here so that could push him there. He already invested the Valkyrie just to kind of get his team in there, and that's a good move from Archimage, and Dirge's going to use the blade.
Transcendence is coming out on the other side, though, trying to keep his tanks alive, but they're getting completely boxed out by Hoplo. What a great play, keeping the entire team away from that Transcendence and then getting the Zen in the end. Man, Hoplo knows how to main tank for his team. Great showing there, and it's going to enable them to get the next point and a little bit more time on the clock.
Haplo is honestly such a good team player. It seems like, I'm not in the comms obviously, but it kind of seems like he's a little bit of like a voice of reason and doing what a main tank should do. And that's essentially just giving his team, creating space and like kind of pushing the enemy team back when he needs to. And while the rest of his team is trying to get on par with him, Haplo is absolutely doing his job.
Yeah, smartly backing out of the fight there is Tyler, just trying to stay alive, but Quick Bags is not going to let that happen, walking in and getting another better of those 1v1s. All the kills look to be going in the way of Phobos, but hold your horses. Now we've got a Diva Bomb kill, which looked like it was going to get nobody, but it may well have just completely turned around this fight.
Oh yeah, definitely. Now it might open things up for Phobos to kind of just stomp this out. I mean, the spawn advantage definitely this close definitely favors it favors Apex when the point is this close. But as you turn this corner, that's when the spawn advantage is going to favor Phobos, and that's where things might get a little dangerous. 30 seconds left, so they really do need to find a way to break through Phobos.
Yeah, got a couple ultimates coming online here. Dersey looking to bring out that blade again, but it looks like there are going to be a little bit of damage being traded back and forth on the high ground there, and then Quick Mags is going to be getting the first pick. Here comes the blade to follow up. Can Hapro get any value? Dashing in, but the Mercy is always just out of reach. Does not get the kill, does not get the dash reset, but somehow makes it out alive. So Hapro is still in this fight here.
This is just all coming down to the support lines, keeping their team alive, making their DPS able to kind of pop off right here. And oh no! Haplo left the point. He was primal raging on the point to push someone away. He got off there, and that is a classic sign.
That is unlucky, as they say, and it really, the Diva Bomb would have killed everybody. That hurts even more to see. But man, what a push there. I mean, Phobos is always, it feels like they're always in a position to get either the first pick with Quick Mags, or even if they don't get that first pick with Quick Mags, their tanks are able to just initiate so many of these battles by being together, focusing down targets, getting key kills, or at the very least, occupying key space, which then enables, Quick Mags to get into those great positions. So there's got to be some sort of answer to the tank line of Phobos. If Horizon Apex can't figure out how to stop those tanks from walking in and taking up that space, it's going to be a long night.
Oh, definitely. I mean, Aegis is just getting in there, and he's focusing that Mercy of Archimage, and that's what I love to see. Is that as a Winston, I mean, Mercy is notoriously just a hard target to hit, just because she could dash around, she could fly to other teammates, and it's just hard in general to kind of hit that tiny hitbox. But with the Winston taser, you kind of just have to get it in the general area, and I love that. I kind of love that Aegis is kind of focusing Archimage a lot, and that Winston Taser is just doing a lot of damage, and we constantly see Archimage go down to the Winston, and now the teams are going to be reset here. It'll be a defense now, and they're going to see if they could find an answer to that dive, because it seems like the dive is kind of something that Phobos favors. I mean, they didn't win the first map, but they won the second map with that dive, and they're still going to run it here because, I mean, it's just a popular thing to do on Gibraltar. It works so well, and they, like you said, they have to find an answer to those things.
Well, it's going to be up to what Horizon Apex does here. Typically, you can go all in on the first fight. Even if you lose the first fight as a defense, your whole team wipes, and then you respawn within time to stop the payload from getting to the next point. So you can all in on attack here, on defense here, but I don't think that's what Horizon Apex is going to do. They're likely going to be waiting for Tyler to initiate with some kills, maybe taking the enemy team's main tanks down to 200 HP, and then pick and choose when they go in. So, Tyler's going to have to hit those shots, and if he gets dove quickly, it's going to be a rough ride for him.
Yeah, and look at this, the Tea Party engaging. Just the two teams kind of exchanging pleasantries here. They're going to jump back down on that point, but oh no! Haplo was caught out all by himself. He tried to jump back, but he kind of got stopped. He ran into a wall, and that's going to be a stagger.
Yeah, Hoplo was being a little bit cute there, trying to stop the payload from behind and then relied on his jump to get out. But unfortunately, the jump hack didn't make the high ground, and instead he paid for it with his life. But now we've got Serial Killer getting taken out, so there's really no tank line, and this is what we've been seeing all night. There's no tank line available for Horizon Apex right now. That means Phobos is free to pretty much do whatever they want. Age is showing you exactly what that looks like with the 2K.
Yeah, Haplo's going to get back into this fight, but it just seems like it's an uphill battle for Apex. It's going to be so hard to kind of reestablish the dominance. Look at this, Tyler pokes his head out and gets dived on instantly by Hapro and Aegis, and goodness gracious, can you even walk out of the doors right now? I mean, that's how hard it seems.
Yeah, and I love the hive mind mentality that Phobos is bringing to this. I don't know what their comms sound like, but it must be very clean because they're always in the same place at the same time. You're seeing these kills come in at a very consistent rate. I mean, you got to hit those shots from your quick mags. Of course he does, but you're seeing so many of these kills come at a consistent rate, and that just shows that Phobos is all in the same place at the same time, and they're taking down targets one at a time.
Moving as a unit, I mean, that's just kind of Phobos' game. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, but when they're on the same page, it could be insane. The Primal Rage is going to be popped by Age just to kind of push in there, and there goes Hapro with that blade, a double ult combination to watch them out.
Aegis showing up again in the kill feed. He's always where he needs to be, and I love that blade that came out from Hopro. Did a ton of damage there, got him into the kill feed, but really that's all you need is 2 or 3 kills every 10 to 15 seconds. That's what Phobos has been doing. That's the definition of a stagger, and Phobos is just showing off that they know exactly how to stagger the enemy team. This is going to be a little bit scary there, because here comes the blade on the backside with Thursday, opening up the fight with a 2K, making a 3. Thursday, look at this man go with a 4K.
5K actually getting the demon there at the end with the dash. Goodness gracious, Jersey for the second time in a row is almost single-handedly team wipe him. I mean, team wipe Phobos, and really this man, his hero pool and his able to kind of carry a team is insane. I mean, goodness gracious, Jersey is able to pop off.
And now we're in a position, though, where there's not that much ultimates coming on the side for Horizon Apex, especially no support ultimates that are going to be available here. So Phobos is able to initiate with a great dive, which we know they can do. There's going to be nothing to stop anybody from walking in and getting the kills exactly like we see right there with Quick Mags once again, getting the kill, going for their mercy when she goes to res. Quick Mags has opened up this fight.
I mean, just looking at Horizon Apex, are so spread out right now. I don't really know what the plan is. Haplo popped Primal Rage to kind of push the team back, but there's really no one with him. There's no healing coming in for him, and that's just the power of the stagger, and like really just moving as a unit is gives you the advantage here. And that's why Phobos is kind of winning this fight out, and a lot of ults being invested here in this fight.
Everybody on the side of Phobos feeling very confident after that showing, opening up the fight, and then Swanky Tiger following up with the 3K, but don't count out Apex too quickly. Jersey with another blade. And wouldn't you know, somehow Horizon Apex was able to respond to that aggression that Phobos brought. It felt like we were back into a position where Phobos was just going to steamroll all the way until the end. But man, the resiliency of Horizon Apex stopping that fight. What a fantastic job.
Oh goodness, I mean, this team is able to kind of hold out against adversity. I mean, really, Phobos has had their number throughout this whole map, but it looks like they're kind of finding their ground, and it looks like they're kind of slowly countering them, but as I said, that Quick Max takes that timer.
Quick Mags is a man on a mission, opening up, taking out his counterpart, and then you've got the blade coming in from the Genji Hopro, getting a few kills, finally going down, but the damage has been done. This may be exactly what Phobos needed to cap this point, especially with Archimage going out there. This is going to be another Hail Mary moment if Horizon Apex wants to stop this once again before it reaches the point.
Yeah, and Tyler's gonna get taken out, found by Swanky Tiger. There's nobody to kind of contest here on this point. A lot of damage. Swanky Tiger is going absolutely insane on this Diva right now, just pumping a massive amount of damage.
And like we said earlier, Azure has the right clicks, takes out It Wasn't Me on the other side, finally capping the point. But man, you got to hand it to Phobos. What a hold that they just had there in hangers. They really bought themselves 2 minutes extra of what seemed like they had no chance or no reason to have. But it really just came down to the fantastic pop-off potential of Dersey. Now Apex is still getting pushed back. They don't have any ultimates to initiate here. Swanky Tiger has the bomb available, but there's just 4 ultimates available for Phobos. They can really pick and choose whatever they'd like to do here.
And with their comms being so clear, like you mentioned earlier, I mean, it seems like everything they do is going to be coordinated, but Aegis is going to go down. And I don't think that was in the plans. It wasn't even to take out Havro, and that could be an entrance for Apex to get on this point.
Apex looking very weak on the way in there, but then popping up with 3 kills. Don't call them weak. They're going to open up with that. Plenty of ultimates now on the side of Horizon Apex, which they may not even need with Tyler coming back in, getting that kill. So holding off the fight for now, getting their feet back under them is Horizon Apex. Now having, pretty much the ultimate advantage over Phobos, they're in a very good position here, and this is one of the toughest corners to push.
Yeah, definitely. Just because the spawn advantage favors the defense so much, it's going to be up to Apex to kind of use those ultimates wisely, as Azure's going to take out his counterpart.
Azure once again winning that Zenyatta 1v1. The Blade's going to come out here from Hopro, getting a kill, paying for it with his life.
Oh yeah, and there's the Reds onto Aegis, so the fight is going back and forth, but it looks like it's going Phobos' way. Now they're able to just kind of stand on that door.
Yeah, Phobos did not take kindly to Horizon Apex stopping them there, came right back in, punched Horizon Apex right in the mouth. The trance is going to be coming out, though, trying to stop the bleeding once again. 1 minute left on the clock for Phobos to be able to walk in here. Quickbag's getting that kill onto Archimage is really going to help.
Oh, definitely. Now there's no healing coming out here. It's all going to be on the shoulders of It Wasn't Me. Never mind. He goes down, and it's going to be just a tough hold in general. Serial Killer seems to be the last one there. And it seems like he's going to go down Hapo with that Primal Rage, trying to push everyone back. And look at this. They can turn this around. Oh, they are able to turn it around. I don't even know how that happened.
Hoplo got, what was it, a 3K there towards the end, but he had to turn it around because Hoplo carried that defense, getting all of the kills on targets that were low. He was jumping all over the place, used his primal just to really confirm that, holding the defense as Apex for now. 15 seconds left on the clock. Phobos in another good position here if Aegis can carry this fight.
And I love the tank line kind of instantly diving onto Tyler. And that kind of takes him out early, and Archimage goes down as well to the Primal Rage. There's nothing really too much that Apex could do, because it just seems like Phobos has their number right now with the Transcendence coming out. It's going to be all healing for Phobos.
Yeah, how about Aegis there, taking out both supports on his own, kills the Mercy with that dive, and then uses his Winston ult to take out the Ana as well. Aegis getting the 2 key picks, the rest of his team following up, cleaning it up on point, and that map, Gibraltar, is going to be going over to Phobos. But man, that was such a phenomenal game to watch on both sides.
Yeah, you have to hand it to the tank line of Phobos. I mean, really, that's all it comes down to. It's Aegis is absolutely doing his job, along with Swanky Tiger, and those two just creating space so much for his team. And I feel like, Quickmax has had Tyler's number throughout the past 2 maps, really, and that's really how it's gonna be for a while if the tanks keep kind of creating space for Quickmax to kind of pop off like that. And with Aegis, I mean, I love it. You never really see Aegis and Swanky Tiger apart. And also, constantly, they're diving where they need to be diving. They're constantly diving on the Mercy of Archimage, or they're diving on the Widowmaker of Tyler. And if you keep doing that, if you keep having a focus fire, you're going to win a lot of fights, because you kind of get those stagger kills going. You take out 1 or 2. And if you take out 1 or 2, really, you win the fight, because you're not going to win against the 4v6 unless there's a hard carry, which we've seen Dersey do in the past. But like I said, it's just such a hard thing to kind of run into, especially when they're moving like a unit.
Yeah, and that's what's incredible to watch. I mean, both of these teams, super high level, top 500, a lot of them. And what it shows off is they're well-oiled machines. They know what they want to do. They know how to execute a plan correctly. And then, of course, behind all of that, they've got just the raw mechanical skills to back it up. I mean, watching Quick Mags, watching Tyler hitting these shots, it really just comes down to, in a lot of these fights, who hits that first shot. We know that they both can do it. But man, sometimes it just feels like a flip of the coin. That first shot misses by a pixel, and then your entire team dies because of it. But again, that's just what you get from these high-level teams: high execution, high mechanical skill, and watching them butt heads like this is just really phenomenal.
And it all, I mean, like, we can't really sleep on Horizon Apex too hard either, just because, they're showing some great play here too. They're just getting outdueled, and they're like you said, they're moving like a unit, like a well-oiled machine, and they're kind of just pushing in, making life hard for Apex, really. And that's why both these teams are just at such a high level, because they're able to move like this. I mean, Jersey able to carry when when he's given the space. I mean, that entrance really, with the Genji blade towards the end there, while they were trying to get the second point, they moved in there, and the Winston bubble instantly went down to give Genji the time to go through the animation of bringing out his blade, so that when he gets into the fight, he doesn't have to, go through that animation. Now, since he doesn't have to do that, he's able to pop off like that. So it's all up to kind of Apex, in a way, mimicking what Phobos is doing, and with their tank line kind of being in sync with the rest of their team. And that's really the thing to watch out for.
And Horizon Apex here on Hanamura, very familiar scene, going with the double sniper for defense here. I absolutely love that. It just really comes down to hitting those shots. Even if Phobos gets taken out early in one of these fights, they just respawn so quickly. So it's not just can you pop off, but can you sustain the constant onslaught that Phobos is going to bring.
And look, they're going to run the pulled port combination against that dive. And on defense, they're going to get, the halt and then the hook is such a classic move we see with these two tanks combining. And another hook kill for Serial Killer, kind of bringing them into him. And that's 2 kills on the side of Phobos, or against the side of Phobos.
Yeah, Phobos going for that high ground, attempt, which is a great place to go, but losing the Zenyatta early on that motion just meant that they had to slow down. Slowing down in that upper halls area is just a death sentence. So cleanup duty here for Horizon Apex. They are going to withstand the first onslaught from the side of Phobos. I'm curious to see if Phobos attempts to go for that high ground again. I don't think they will, since it didn't work out. They might just, walk right through main, try to take the fight to point, especially with the Reinhardt Zarya. It's a pretty good play there, but let's see how Phobos takes it.
Yeah, and they saw the kind of pulled port combination, and they knew that they had to switch up the tank lines, and that Dragon's going to find 2 very essential things. No more shields in there.
Yeah, Jersey was exactly what I was thinking. Saw Phobos just blitzing through main, saw the team comp they were bringing. He knew that Phobos was just going to keep hitting W until they got to the bell. So he throws up a wall of death in the Dragons, gets 2 kills, and then, yeah, Phobos was just dead in the water.
Now, one thing I like seeing from these high-level teams is that in low-level teams, we sometimes see that momentum can carry on from map to map. So, you lose 2 in a row if you're Apexing. Sometimes you feel like, oh, here comes the Diva Bombs kind of placed up there. It's going to find the Lucio somehow. Just got just close enough to him as this fight's going to engage. 2 picks down, the support line's down for Phobos, and that's just going to be cleanup duty.
Yeah, that is... That's once again another hold in the same spot. Essentially the same thing happened. The only difference we saw there was no dragons. But, Horizon Apex is really just deep into this turtle comp. They're just taunting Phobos. Go ahead and walk in. See what happens. We've seen what happens twice now. It looks like Phobos is going to be trying it again. Maybe they have a little bit of a different angle they want to take here.
Yeah, and it just seems like they're not really paying attention to what happened in the past map. And look at that, Dragon's going to be pushing so much damage that you essentially have to use the Memorial to keep your team alive. And Aegis is going to go down, and with no main tank, that's going to be a hard thing for them to cap, but they're so close.
Yeah, and this is what Horizon Apex wants. They don't mind giving up a tick if they can keep that phenomenal high ground positioning, do the damage, and then allow Serial Killer to walk in with the whole hog, getting a 3K. Losing a tick on the point there really doesn't mean a whole lot if you full hold them on defense. That's the game that Horizon Apex is playing. So losing those little mini battles of the ticks, the first and second tick, it doesn't even matter to them because they plan to win it first hold.
Yeah, definitely. And they're going to try one more time to kind of push in there with the rally, and they need to start engaging on this point.
Yeah, everybody's going to be touching the point here, and the Graviton Surge does come in with the Dragon coming in as well, and the kills are starting to pour in for the side of Horizon Apex. Getting to both of the supports is going to be Dersey. The rest of his team following up. Tyler with a couple of nice little headshots and a body shot to end it there. Not a whole lot of time left. I don't even know if Phobos is going to have a chance to touch the point, even to get the overtime back, get the overtime started to give them some sort of chance here.
Not if they're going to put pressure on the choke right here. The Diva Bomb's going to go in the air, going to try to find anybody trickling in, and it's not going to find anyone, but it is going to zone them out, and that's going to be a full hold from the side of Horizon Apex, and that's great execution. I love how they didn't really take any of the negativity that happened in the last two maps. You know, you lose two maps in a row, sometimes that gets to you. You know, it could be a mental game at that point, and you're like, oh man, we're not performing at the level we normally perform at, but they kind of cleared the slate. They said, hey guys, it's a new map, and they go into this defense, and it seems like everybody was kind of working in sync there. I mean, Dersey and Tyler were popping off, getting those kind of cleanup kills, getting those people who didn't take a lot of HP, like we saw Tyler constantly focusing that support line when they moved in. And, you know, Phobos' game this whole time has been moving like a unit, and we saw that. They tried to move as a unit ground, and then they were instantly taken out, and they tried to walk through Main Street. Sure, they got the first two ticks, but hey, they didn't cap the point, and that's really what, like you said, Apex is that was the game they were trying to play, and they are able to full hold them.
Yeah, Apex put their money where their mouth was on that one, and it paid off with a full hold defense. But keep in mind, that's still possible for Phobos to do here, and it does look like Aegis is going to be picking the Orisa, so they very well could be trying this very similar combo that we saw on the side of Horizon Apex, and it is going to be the ball and chain combo of the Orisa and the Roadhog. So I expect to see something similar from Phobos. Now, Horizon Apex having so much success running that in the first place, I wonder if that's going to give them a little bit more information on how to beat it, right? Because they saw what didn't work. They saw what Phobos attempted to do to cap the point. They see how that didn't work out for them. So Horizon Apex may have a little bit more of an advantage having just run this.
Yeah, and they're not going to start off with the dive like Phobos did. They're going to run that. They're going to run, like you said, the ball and chain. They're going to do the Risa Roadhog tank line, and they are going to run the triple tank. It wasn't me kind of having that Zen play that third tank, giving the DPS time to pop up. But Apple goes really low, needs to build up.
Taking a much slower fight is going to be Apex. They want to win the shield war, and more importantly, they just want to bait out a mistake on the side of Phobos. Knowing that defensive positioning is so good, they really need to capitalize on mistakes, and it looks like the kill is going to be coming in, but then responded immediately, and then Apex opening up with 2 more kills. Taking out quick mags just might be enough to, completely turn this fight into your favor. He's not there to provide that consistent damage or headshot potential.
Make this team drop off the high ground and take out that Mercy, and there goes the 2 tanks. And like you said, oh no, the whole hog was pulled by Serial Killer. I don't know if that was a fat finger or whatever it was, maybe a slip of the keys, or but still, they are able to take the point. And like you said, they just made them, force them to come off that high ground, really. And now Apex is going to start working on the second point.
Yeah, I don't think that was a fat finger at all. I think that was a statement. Horizon Apex is back. They dropped 2 maps, and they want to open up very strong here on Hanamura. They do get the first point very easily there. Hoplo is coming up to the bongos. Archimage also with that Valkyrie. If you combo those 2 things together, there's no stopping the damage your team can put out.
That was a good show of floors there, but look at this. Both Divas got pulled in by that Roadhog, and they're kind of balled up in a corner right there, and that's where the Dragons are going to come in. Wrong side of the corner, but that's okay. They're still going to take out Haplo, and a lot of kills coming in for Phobos. It's going to be a restart.
And that's absolutely fine for Horizon Apex. Of course, they would have wanted to win that, but they do have Tyler still on the Widowmaker, has the walls coming up. That's going to be huge. Of course, you got Dersey, who, he can get a team wipe without the dragons, but he does have those dragons available for this next fight here. And there's not too much as far as support ultimates. There's only one that could be coming from Phobos. They're doing the solo heal Mercy. I love that for defense.
Both these teams have walls right now, so everybody knows where everyone is. But Jersey's going to pop that dragon. It's kind of a zoning out to kind of get them off the high ground, and Apple's going to be the first kill. And that might be just, I think it's time to just pull out right now if you're Apex. You just kind of restart, you lose your main tank there. A little unlucky situation, you try to go back and just try again. You did invest 2 ults into that, so that's a little unfortunate. But that's okay because you still have like your whole team back to full strength. They really only have the Valkyrie. They're coming up on 2 tank ults as well. But if you focus that Mercy, then there's really nothing you have to worry about. And that goes for both teams. If the Mercy goes down first, then it's just an open up ground for all damage is done. It's final.
Yeah, the solo heal Mercy battle is won mostly on the side of the defense, and you can see it right here. Watch, Archimage just got taken out of this fight. This is not looking good for Horizon Apex because they're starting to lose members left and right, but this is Hanamura point B. Do not panic. Right. Horizon Apex is going to be coming back in. Tyler does get that pick there. A couple more kills coming back, but now Archimage is back into the fray, building that Valkyrie all the while. Yeah, and it looks like... just Horizon Apex seemed like they could get some sort of motion going there. They got 2 CP'd, and that's all on, the respawn for the defense. It's just so heavily favored on defense. You have to get that 6K, and even then, sometimes they respawn and can still touch point.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's just really the 2 CP way. And I feel like these past 2 fights, Apex is just kind of slowly building up ults. Dersey did switch on to this Junkrat, trying to get more spam damage in there. And don't even worry about Junkrat being low on ult charge. He's going to get it back pretty quickly, but Dersey's going to be the first one to go down. So we'll see if Archimage can kind of res him. But there's a battle between tiny little bunny blasters as Archimage and the Baby Diva tried to go at it with the 2 tiny pistols.
Yeah, and Tyler getting that kill on the way out, it's not going to matter. You didn't even need the resurrection. Again, your respawn is right there. So, from a fantastic original attack plan that Horizon Apex had, we saw how surgical they were. A lot of patience. They waited until the fight was in their favor. They've now been stalled for several minutes here on point B. This is getting very tough for Horizon Apex because they can't just walk in every single time they've tried, especially on the top right. They're just getting fragged out.
And the triple tank combination, they're putting a lot of HP in there, but there's also a lot of DPS coming out of the side of Phobos with the Hanzo, and that's just so rough. They're going to keep losing people left and right. Another dragon going in there, and Quick Mag's popping off.
Yeah, just, Quick Mag's being in that high ground position that, really only the Widow can get to and use effectively. It's just so scary because she always has her hook available. Even if you attempt to put some damage down on her, even if you attempt to dive her like it looks like Apex might be trying to do in this next fight, it just feels like she has so many avenues of escape that it's so tough to pin down Quick Mags. And the entire time you're trying, he's just hitting shot after shot.
As a high ground advantage, it truly is a real thing in Overwatch. I mean, it's just... in every single map, if there's a high ground, you definitely know what defense will take advantage of it. And they're going to try to take the side of the other side of the high ground, and they're going to try to make Phobos spread out a little bit, and getting the kill in the half road, that's a good start.
Yeah, the res is going to be coming in here. Hoplo brought back into the fight. It is going to be a 6v6. Swaggy Tiger just really trying to pick and choose his target. Looks like he's just going to try to stay alive. They don't really care too much about this point, but it looks like we've already got 3 here on the point. This might be enough to get a tick. 1 tick is to be gotten for Horizon Apex, but now we've got those respawns coming back in. Hoplo back into the fight here.
Yeah, and this is going to be tough climbing up. This is good, though. They take out both those snipers. There's no DPS on the side of Phobos, and that Dragon's going to take out Aegis. And like you said, the stagger spawns could not be a good thing here, just because the defense could slowly trickle in. You're not really making progress there. And yeah, like I said, that's just all the spawn advantage right there. That's making this defense win out this point.
And you got to give credit where credit is due. So clearly, Phobos played that very, very well. They were able to stay alive, initiate the stagger spawns, and then just, 2 CP Apex right out of that fight. So really, really strong job. But for Apex, that's even more frightening because they invested a lot into that fight. Now they do walk back in with the Zenyatta Transcendence available. They do have Hoplo's Primal Rage available. So they've got a couple of tools here, but this is probably going to be the last fight. So they're going to have to figure out to make some miracles happen, get a few picks, and then lean on that Zenyatta ultimate and, of course, the Winston ultimate. So let's see what they choose to do here. Going through main, looks like the tanks are going to be taking top, using their shifts to get there, and then Quick Bags tries to stop this fight right away, getting the pick onto his counterpart, Tyler.
Oh, they are investing Transcendence and Primal Rage into the two ults you mentioned earlier. So they do want to win this, and that's a good start, taking out the Tracer and the Roadhog, but Haplo goes down, so you have to be careful. This attacking team off the side of Apex is having a hard time just kind of finding their way in there. There's a lot of HP on the point for Phobos. Dragon's going to come in, find Aegis, but nobody's going to touch the... Oh, actually, wait. As I said, that Haplo dives on there. Never denied the mobility of a Winston. So it's going to be just a stagger fight on here, on the point, and we'll see if anybody can get there. And man, it's
Tyler and Mercier on the point here. Tyler shifts in, gets onto the point, keeps overtime alive, and then gets 2 kills. Now the Lucio is back, taking out Aegis. This might be enough for Horizon Apex to get at least one more tick. They really want to make it 2 more, and Zero Kill is going to make that dream a reality, taking out Aegis very quickly.
It's still Swanky Tiger trying to deny some room here, but this is such a long fight. I mean, look at this. Everybody's investing everything they have into here, but the attacking team still seems to have the stagger kill momentum going in there. The whole log's going to try to push everyone off the point, and it just might be successful, but no, they're still going to kind of hold the ground, and here's the kills coming in for Phobos.
And Tyler, who initiated that overtime, touched the point, got several kills while they're finally paid for it with his life, and now all the kills are going in the way of Phobos. Quick Mag's getting the right click onto the Tracer. That may be all she wrote, but Horizon Apex just made that fight a lot more interesting.
Oh, goodness. I mean, I thought it was over. Like I said, I was kind of in my closing statements of that map, but then Winston of the Haplo Winston kind of jumped onto that point out of nowhere. I really wasn't expecting that. And he was able to kind of win, to lay that point out there. And like you said, they almost got 2 ticks. They essentially, did get 2 ticks because they were so close. But yeah, they definitely made that interesting.
Yeah, and if we really cared about, exactly who won that map, it would have went to Horizon Apex once they got point A, which they did so just tremendously. They walked in and got it very, very quickly. But man, watching them be able to run through onto point B just opened up. What a fantastic fight. Incredible to watch. I think coming back to Horizon Apex every time, I keep thinking back to resiliency. Every single time that you think that they're getting, pushed out of the fight, they're getting bullied, Horizon Apex just opens up and it's never the same team member. There's always a different team member picking up the rest of the team, putting them on their back, and just carrying a fight that really should not have gone their way.
Yeah, exactly. They just don't seem to die. I think that's kind of their mentality. It's never say die. Even when the overtime wick is burning down and it doesn't seem like anybody's close to it, they're all of a sudden able to touch it. And that's just kind of that resiliency that you were talking about. They never seem to kind of go away. I love how when things get, down to the wire, if you're going against them, they kind of seem like a little bit of an annoying team to go against, just because they keep coming at you. You can throw as many blows as you want at them, but they're going to keep coming back. And as we move on to this hybrid map of Hollywood, it's gonna be a really tough game to decide who this goes to, just because both of these teams really have been showing up so well. I mean, the 2 map wins in a row for the side of Phobos. That kind of seems like, okay, maybe Apex is losing their steam a little bit after winning that first match. It doesn't seem like they're kind of coming out and showing the game that they normally play. But then all of a sudden, Apex gets their second win and is able to kind of push Phobos back all the way. And we are going to get just a tiny bit of a delay, but still, great matches so far.
Yeah, and taking a look, I mean, just watching everything that we've seen so far, it's just been incredible to watch these teams, battle it out here. But When I think about what Horizon Apex is running on defense, so they do have the triple tank with the Mercy as solo heals. I mentioned this before on Hanamura. I love solo Mercy heals because really it just shows a team that trusts each other. Mercy knows that she can trust her team to protect her and keep her alive. In turn, they know she knows where the pocket goes, which is directly onto those tanks, keep them alive in the fight. And the solo heal Mercy can just carry defenses if your team is good enough to play around it. That's what I expect to see from Horizon Apex here, and you should really expect to see Archimage having a Valkyrie available about once every 20 seconds.
Exactly. I mean, it seems like the 2-2-2 combination is going away with 2 supports, 2 tanks, 2 DPS. And it just seems like it's a new game. Overwatch is an always ever-changing landscape. And we'll see how Apex is kind of going to try to hold it out here. Again, the triple tank combination, something that these two teams have scrimmed all day. It seems like they're practicing so much with it, and that when it comes to game time, it seems like they're going to try to already be used to it. But with Aegis on this Reinhardt here, he's going to try to make his team rotate with him. Look at them. He's moving as a unit.
Yeah, but we saw this before. Think back to Hanamura point A attack. They're moving as a unit, but even though they're doing a great job at staying together, getting to where they want to go, Horizon Apex is showing you just what their snipers are capable of, able to pick somebody out of the pack every single time. Really, really sharp, pixel-perfect aiming coming up from Tyler, stopping this first fight and buying his team 40 seconds of free point time.
Yeah, essentially it comes down to that well-oiled machine. You just take a cog out, and that machine will start to go down. They're trying to bully their way onto the point. They're running the ambulance combination with Moira and Lucio to get them speed boost on there and those and that burst healing. So there's a lot of healing coming on to Phobos, but it's up to Apex to kind of drop down here on the floor, and as the Apple goes down, that might be rough.
And finally, the kill coming in. Jersey was able to pump out so much damage, but there was no follow-up damage to confirm those kills. So yes, he was able to get, targets down very low, but really that just played into the hand of what Phobos wanted. They had the Moira there for the heals. They've got Solid if we just switch onto those heals. So, not being able to confirm those kills is really what stopped Apex from capitalizing on those points. Jersey was doing the right thing. Nobody was there to follow up.
Exactly, and with these two supports, without a Mercy, sometimes it might seem just a little odd, just because we see Mercy so often, and especially if you're running triple tank, without a Mercy, you're a little bit confused. You're like, oh, why aren't they not running that Mercy? But with the speed of Lucio and the burst healing of Moira, I mean, look at these guys. Even when they're rotating around, they never break up. They're always together. The Diva Bomb's gonna try to spread them out just a little bit, and it is gonna find the Lucio and D-Max, Quick Max. So we'll see if this is an opening that Apex can capitalize on.
Yeah, Archimage is flying freely at this point, keeping everybody alive. The 2 kills that came in first with that Diva Bomb, it wasn't me, opening up the fight fantastically, followed up with Tyler getting those kills. I mean, this is really, really tough for Phobos to walk back into. They are going to be switching off of the Moira, who was incredibly successful on the first point. But once you get into the streets phase, it's a little bit more difficult for her to stay alive on the ground while everybody else takes high ground.
The ambulance comp isn't going to really work out for too long because, teams are just going to kind of expect you guys to move as a unit. And so they switch onto the dive, which is something we've seen them do throughout this whole, a lot of these maps here on the Scrim. And Acer is going to go back to the Zenyatta, his comfort role, and the battle's on the roof right now.
Well, the ultimates are in the way of Horizon Apex because Phobos just switched up so much of their team comp, and it looks like they might not even need any ultimates, but they are going to be dropping Hoplo's bongos, really just putting an exclamation point on that fight. Nobody's there. And then, of course, Serial Killer pulling out that whole hog.
Definitely. Again, Serial Killer pulling out the whole hog at the end of a fight, and that is, as you said, that's a statement. But I think that's a good move by Phobos to kind of disengage there. See all those ultimates pop. You don't really want to get caught out, and as you said, Azure is a sniper when he's on that Zenyatta, able to take out Tyler.
Yeah, man, that right click is just fantastic, but it looks like he is going to pay for it with his life. Azure going down to Hoplo. Hoplo then getting paid for it with his life as well, falling, and the Diva Bomb does pick up one, so it wasn't me, again, getting more value out of this Diva Bomb, which can be very difficult to use, typically only used for zoning purposes, but it feels like every time it wasn't me drops that Diva Bomb, somebody's going down.
Yeah, definitely. He's so good with that placement. And they're still running this triple tank defense, and I love this. There's so much HP out here, and with Archimage kind of having a lot of targets to hide behind, it's easy for Archimage to kind of pump out that healing onto the tanks. And so kind of they're really benefiting each other. There's so much HP so that Archimage can hide, and Archimage is able to keep pumping in that healing on those high HP people. So it's like a weird circle that's going on here, and Tyler's going to find Azure.
Yeah, the Mercy does go down. Archimage unfortunately losing her life.
Ooh.
Tyler opening up, getting 2 kills. The Mercy on the other side is down as well. And again, another full hold here on the street space for Horizon Apex.
And the ults still, I mean, they still have the ults to kind of bully their way in here, especially with the Transcendence that they could use to open it up, but you can't use it if you're going down like that, as they're going to have to use the rest
What
of
a shot by Tyler! Holy goodness! Opened up the fight with that pick. Very aggressive play there, and then, man, the snapshot onto the Tracer. What a player!
What a player indeed. I mean, he kind of cooled down for a little bit, but now he's starting to heat it up back up again. And Tyler is absolutely showing why he's their hit scan of the Horizon Apex team right now. Popping up, as you said, an amazing shot into that onto Quick Max. Tracer, who has the tiniest hitbox in the game. Insane.
And now it looks like Aegis does have his Winston ult available. Both tank ults are going to be available for Phobos. Trying to just get some value here on the point. Is going to be able to take out Dersey. And then another kill coming out of the Mercy. Getting the Diva Bomb. This is just all in the way of Phobos. All they needed to do to win that fight was press Q several times.
They definitely had those ults in the pocket the whole time. And they didn't even use the Transcendence, which is, you know, amazing. They still have that for the next fight. I don't think they're going to be able to go all the way before Apex re-engages. As look, they're holding the pressure on the door, but that's not going to work out for too long, especially with that Roadhog coming out here. They're going to be able to contest this point, but they have the Transcendence, and that could work out really well for them.
Well, Quick Mags has one job right here, get a single kill. That's all you need to do to open up this point, but it's taking a little bit too long. Does use the Pulse Bomb, but then the whole time Tyler's able to get into a good position, takes out the Genji on the other side. All of these kills now going in the way for Horizon Apex. Take a look at this team, the resiliency, again stopping the payload. Horizon Apex will not be pushed off. Incredible play by the entire team there, holding so well through the streets phase. I think they only lost one fight, which didn't even matter. Coming back with just phenomenal game sense. Again, the patience, they're waiting to initiate on these fights until they have the upper hand. And most of the time, the upper hand comes from Tyler just hitting one of those nutty shots.
Yeah, absolutely. Tyler coming alive here on this Widowmaker, on this defense. And, you know, it favors him with a lot of the high grounds. But I do want to point out that Azure never used his Transcendence, and that's really something that's going to hurt a team. If you're holding onto that Transcendence, you're waiting for the perfect time, but if Tyler's clicking heads, you know, you got to use it, especially as soon as you feel that pressure, as soon as, you know, you even lose a little bit of HP and like that Winston starts tasing you or something, you do have to use it, or you're going to get shot and you're going to go down and you're going to lose the map without ever using your ultimate. So that's something that that may have hurt Phobos there in that last fight. And they're going to try to kind of mimic Apex here on this defense.
Yeah, and that's the hardest thing about playing Zenyatta. You know, if you want to open up with an aggressive Transcendence, which I absolutely love, opening up a fight, getting your tanks into position, keeping them alive, that's great. I love a good aggressive Transcendence, but then what happens a lot of times, especially with high-level teams like Horizon Apex, they say, okay, you just trans, we're just going to hide, wait for the trans to go through, and then we're going to walk in and kill you. Now, that's a nightmare scenario for the Zenyatta, but on the other hand, if what just happens where he dies with the Transcendence, it's again a nightmare scenario. It is so tough to play Zenyatta in the current meta, especially against, just like you mentioned, players like Tyler who are going to be clicking heads.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of like the stun meta, I guess, is really this new meta, and you can't really, it's a game of anticipation. You have to anticipate when, and like you said, that's a hard thing to do, but coming out here on the attack is Apex, and they're going to try to just bully their way on the point with Dersey and Tyler on that double sniper combination again.
Yeah, double sniper v double sniper, something we're very, very familiar with here on Horizon Overwatch. But it looks like Serial Killer was just, and all of Horizon Apex, they were just given this place for free. Phobos wants nothing to do with the point right now. They just want to hang out in Cafe, bait Apex into a bad position, and then force them to pay for it with their lives. But again, we've seen this time and time again. You give Tyler too much time, and he's going to get some kills. He's already started with 2 kills here on the first fight.
And he takes out his opposite in Quick Mags, and Quick Mags gets res, and you say, okay, well, I mean, that he'll get reversed, and Tyler finds him again. Look at that. Quick Mags has had Tyler's number this whole match, but now since he's coming alive, he's saying, come at me, I'm rejuvenated, I'm refreshed, try to take me on now, and he won that duel twice, and then winning that duel twice is just the key, really, to kind of capping this first point, and they're going to have a lot of time, 5.5 minutes, to get this payload rolling.
And that's the thing that's so scary. Phobos played that defense correctly. Finally, Tyler is paying for his life with that aggressive positioning. But Phobos played that so correctly. They were in the right place. They had a good team comp. They were executing correctly. And that's just what's so scary about, you know, these high-level players like Tyler. Even when you do it right, they can still get the upper hand.
That's where the game of anticipation kind of comes in. You have to kind of understand that if you really take time, there's the Widowmaker that has the momentum rolling, that is on fire, like Tyler or earlier in the match, Quick Max was. You have to be ready to anticipate kind of those kills, and Tyler's going to fly into the air with the grapple to try to get a kill, but look at that. The serial killer is going to go in with that whole hog. He's going to get a pick, but it's going to get res right back up.
Yeah, the Dragon coming in from Jersey, trying to just get a couple of, you know, Hail Mary kills, but it does not happen. So very similar to what we saw with Horizon Apex when it was their turn on defense. Phobos has completely halted the cart here on the street space.
And Archimage can kind of open this up with the Valkyries. You pop that Valkyrie to kind of heal up the team going in there, but look at that. It wasn't easy to open it up with a kill on the half row.
Yeah, it wasn't me, just gets a kill every single time. I love these Diva Bombs. He's always in a good position. And then Swanky Tiger, not to be outdone, gets a 2K on both the tanks. Quick Mags following it up, getting a few shots in, and another hold is going to be done right here in the streets phase by Phobos. It seems like even when Horizon Apex had that little bit of an opening, they still got massive pushback from Phobos.
Then, like you said, another dragging going in by Jersey to kind of get some Hail Mary kills. It was a little bit of a zone to try to open it up, and Aegis is going to go down, and there goes the Mercy as well. So look at that. That's an entrance if you ever seen one. Take out the main tank, take out the main support. There's nothing really a team can do against that.
And finally, opening up on the point here, but no ultimates are currently available for Horizon Apex. Phobos, not very close to too many, but they have the Dragon available here. So if Dragon's able to get some sort of value, it's going to let Phobos get back onto the point, get their feet underneath of them. But it's not going to start with missing your shots on Tyler. Don't give this man time. He's going to keep hitting shots.
Oh, yeah, there you go. He's going to take out his opposite number, Quick Mags, and that's going to give his tanks time to kind of get in position and get in there. The Dragons are going to kind of try to get anybody or trying to zone him out, really, and look at these tanks engaging on the side of Phobos.
And I feel like Hoplo was almost put out there as bait. You know, the entire team dove Hoplo, the entire Phobos, and then on Horizon Apex, they just got Tyler off in this corner, hitting the shots. It doesn't even matter if Hoplo were to die there. You still have Tyler getting the value. And at the end of the day, they didn't even take out Hoplo. He stayed alive, maintained positioning on the point, and it's just exit kills at this point. You know, Apex is in such a strong position. The snowball is in, you know, full roll right here that they're going to be able to take a lot of advantage, and it looks like our pause is going to be coming in.
Now we have a tiny bit of a delay and maybe a DC. We'll have to figure out in just a second. But look, I love the play coming out of Apex. They kind of come alive here in these last two maps, and it seems like, you know, they kind of went to sleep, or maybe they were just trying out some new strategies. You know, this is Scrim, so if you're going to practice something, this is the right time to practice it. And it kind of seems like they've hit their groove, and I feel like that kind of comes just with slowly learning your opponent. You know, it seems like Apex is adjusting well to Phobos kind of moving as a unit. We've said it throughout this Scrim many times. You're probably getting annoyed with us saying it so much because they're just moving as a unit all the time. They're always grouped up together, and that's going to be where Apex is kind of adjusting and kind of learning their opponents over time. And, you know, if this was a normal if this was a normal 5-map series, like if this was just a normal Overwatch League rules match that's going head-to-head, this would be map 5. And, like we said, it doesn't seem like Apex is slowing down at all. I mean, really, they would have won this map already just because Phobos didn't even make it this far. So Apex is kind of coming alive, learning their opponent and adjusting when they need to adjust.
And it's so fun to watch some of these players just hitting these incredible shots. I mean, you know, if you want to learn specific heroes, you got to watch the guys that you have here on Horizon Overwatch. We always have these insane players who are just able to pull out 900 IQ plays like it's nothing. But it's because they've played for so long, they've played with each other for so long, the trust is there. And obviously the skills are there, the individual skills are there, so they're able to just do so much as a unit, even more than any of them can do individually, which is already saying a lot. I'd really like to see Aegis and Swanky Tiger back in the swing of things. You know, those are the two tanks for the side of Phobos. They had some incredible synergies, especially back when they were doing more of a dive thing. I want to see Phobos get back into that position because the dive and the focus fire that Phobos is able to bring is so fun to watch.
That's the thing I really kind of want to highlight here is that focus fire. As the person who did DC, it's going to kind of come back in this match, so the unpause is going to come pretty soon, but still. I mean, the focus fire for Phobos is on key. They know who to focus. They know to focus Tyler. They know to focus Archimage. And if you take out one of those two, it's going to be huge. They just kind of need to find that again. And Jersey's going to go down, and Azur's going to go down, and everyone's going down. And we're going to get on pause.
Yeah, this is exactly what a snowball looks like. It can happen to any team. A team as great as Phobos can get pushed back this hard, but it looks like now back into the game is Aegis. Swanky Tiger getting that kill, taking out Tyler, the #1 DPS, at least so far in this map. But Jersey's looking to open it up for himself right here, keeping the Sonic up. And the whole time all of this is happening, the cart has been moving this whole time. Dragon's going to be going in, trying to create a wall of death, and he absolutely does. There's nowhere for Roadhog to go, taken out eventually.
And that's just going to kind of split up that team. That takes out one of the 3 tanks there. The counter Dragon's going to kind of go right back on them, but it's not going to split the team too hard. And look, now all this spam damage is going to get pumped in there, especially with Serial Killer's whole hog.
Yeah, Serial Killer just trying to boot the enemy team off of the point there, getting some value, but now the Diva Bomb's coming in for the side, and Swanky Tiger gets a 2K, taking out the Hog and the Mercy. That's going to be enough to stop it here. At least hopefully stop the bleeding. If Tyler's still alive, okay, fine. Tyler's finally dead, so that is going to be the death to the push there. Still 2 minutes and 30 seconds left for Horizon Apex.
And, you know, it's going to be a full-on restart, and it is a part of the map that we see get stopped often just because defense has so much spawn advantage here. You have to keep the damage consistent if you want to win this map if you're on attack here. So they're going to see if they can kind of engage here and get the party started. This Apple is going to be the first one to kind of reach it.
Tyler just casually walking around the flank, looking to get a kill there. Did not come up with a kill, but that was a great play, aggressive positioning, and then Jersey is able to walk in and get 2 kills while everybody else is trying to chase down the Widowmaker, and Jersey with another 2 kills.
Oh, goodness. I mean, we've been talking about Tyler just because Widowmaker is such a spectacle to watch, but honestly, 3 times I could think of, you know, it could have happened more. Jersey is able to pop up and team wipe him by himself when they're not going to be able to touch it, especially when there wasn't Diva Bomb going in. And they are going to be able to do a full push. This is great seeing Apex come alive.
Yeah, and that's the scary thing about all of Horizon Apex firing on all cylinders. You know, if you put any level of attention onto one of their team members, that means the other 5 are essentially able to do whatever they want. They can take an unfair fight on your unprotected Widowmaker, whatever it may be. That's what Horizon Apex has been getting so right. I almost feel like, you know, Tyler there at the end was purposefully baiting the enemy team, much like the Velociraptor in Jurassic Park 1. And then all of a sudden you look to your left, and that's where the Velociraptor was that you had to worry about in the first place. That's Jersey on that last push. I don't know if that was planned by Apex, but man, it looked good.
I mean, honestly, I feel like when Jersey kind of does those team wipes, I don't know if that's necessarily a plan. Jersey may have asked for like a pocket from Archimage or something, but then he absolutely knows when he's going to go insane. And you know, if it's on Genji, Hanzo, it doesn't matter. He's gonna pop off and kind of do all that. And it's going to be a full on push throughout that whole map, and Apex coming alive again. They do have the wins over Phobos now. Phobos had that 2 maps in a row streak where it looked like they're kind of downing Apex, but Apex slowly learning their opponent over time, learning that they're going to move as a unit. And I feel like where that's going to come into play here, moving as a unit, is going to be on this next map, Lijiang Tower.
and Phobos just needs to get the tempo and the pace of this battle back in their hands. That's what we saw in those two maps where they were so dominant. It just felt like they would get the advantage in the fight. They would get the better of Horizon Apex, and they just kept rolling through with that consistent confidence that they brought to each subsequent fight. Now Horizon Apex has punched back, knocked Phobos on their rear, and Phobos needs to figure out a way to get back up, get their feet underneath of them, and start hitting those shots again like we've seen Quick Mags do so many other times.
He is going to be Aegis and Swinky Tiger in sync again. I mean, on this map, really, it kind of comes down to if the tanks are able to kind of open up room here. I feel like Quick Mags right now is going to be on this McCree because he's going to try to figure out if there is a Pharah coming out of the side of Horizon Apex. It's a thing we see often. I wouldn't be surprised if Quick Mags would turn right back around and switch over to that Widowmaker once he sees Tyler's on that Widowmaker. Just because if one team has a Widowmaker, they might be able to control a lot more space than a McCree has. I mean, not to Dash McCree, I mean, he's a great frontline fighter. Just Tyler on that Widowmaker is going to create a lot more space than Quick Max is going to be able to. So they're going to run an ambulance comp again with the Lucio Moira, and look at them. They're already on the point. I mean, look how fast that was.
That's exactly what Phobos wants out of this fight. Force the fight either on the point or just walk into that Zenyatta who got left alone. Aegis finally getting the kill there, but the whole team was there to help him out. First kill going in the way of Phobos. They're feeling very confident walking in here. Man, these fire strikes by Aegis. He's doing so much damage.
Yeah, and look at that. They moved as a unit. They instantly spread out Apex, and by the time these guys walked back out onto the point, the players of Apex were scattered everywhere. And I think, look at them. They're moving together. They're not even moving separate at all, not even a little bit. They are going to try to go for a back cap, and Jersey's going to go onto that tree. Or just going to go onto that Pharah and try to create some more space.
They do get the back cap there. It's going to be short-lived. Tyler even getting a kill, which is going to open up the next fight. As you're not being available is actually a pretty huge deal. He had Coalescence, and another kill comes in. Quick Mag's going down. Swanky is going down as well.
Tyler, they don't want this fight to end.
Tyler is walking in and making it happen. That's his 5th kill of this fight. Backcapped first, and then just killed everybody who tried to come in and tell him otherwise.
I don't know how they were able to do that. Jersey and Tyler were the only ones alive, and they just kept getting one kill here, and I was like, okay, that's going to be the fight result. One kill there, and they just kept going back and forth, and Jersey's going to do the barrage, and then get taken down by Quick Mag.
And all the damage is done for Jersey. It's just up to Tyler to follow up on those kills, and that's exactly what he's there for. So paying with his life on that Pharah barrage is going to be Jersey brought back. But I mean, really, all the damage he was able to do in such a short time frame won that fight. There was just nothing that Phobos had available to save them. They do have Zalik on 75% for the Lucio beat, so it might take that much just to withstand the fights that Horizon Apex is bringing.
Yeah, definitely, and the high noon today, and Poppy's going to find Jersey, but there's a triple boot off the side with Jersey's Pharah. Goodness gracious.
The triple bloop is here. Not to be outdone is Jersey, getting as many kills as Tyler in the fight previous to that one. Jersey on this Pharah is so dominant. Already available is another Pharah barrage in just about 10%.
And I feel like, moving as a unit is great on the side of Phobos, but sometimes it could be your weakness. I mean, we saw there was only 2 people left alive on the last fight on the side of Apex, and they were able to still win it out. If you move as a unit, you're susceptible to those splash damage, and Tyler is still going crazy.
I don't know what Tyler had in his Wheaties this morning, but I got to tell you, I need some of it myself. I wish I could pop off like this. Taking the Diva out of the mech, hitting Hapro with the headshot, finally taken out by Quick Mags, but man, it took a lot to get Tyler out of that fight.
Oh, definitely. I mean, that's by the time they did it, it didn't even matter. They already lost the map. So, I mean, look, looking as a unit, that's great. Moving together, the whole team is always together. That's perfectly fine in some cases. But when you have teams that are pumping in that splash damage and already know that you're always going to be together, they're going to kind of outduel you at times, just because we saw Tyler and Jersey were the only ones left alive after Tyler backcapped. Everyone else was down. and then as a unit they kind of move on to that point. They point their shields to the sky to protect themselves from Jersey, and that gives Tyler range to kind of get them in the chest, shoot them a couple times. They're down, and then they don't know where to point the shields, and that's where the team of Apex can kind of strive and pop off. But because they're always moving as a unit, we saw that sometimes it could be their downfall. Like we saw the triple boot from Jersey. Insane. I mean, I'm so happy I got to see that.
Yeah, that triple boop was fantastic. Tyler going very, very low on his HP pool here, but he does stay alive. It's not going to be the same story for It Wasn't Me, taken out very quickly by Swanky Tiger, and then Aegis losing his life on the other side here. So now it's starting to look like Horizon Apex in a very comfortable position. They have the kill advantage over Phobos, but it doesn't really look like they have any follow-up damage here. Oh no, here we go now. It Wasn't Me back into the fight. Gets that Tracer out of his face. That's what I love to see, Zenyatta taking out a Tracer.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's saying, look, I'm the one who could do the DPS here as well, and Jersey kind of bringing the fire onto the tanks. He's going to get taken out by Quickbacks, but really, is it going to matter? Really, Hapro is going to be the only one to kind of contest this point, as the two supports are also still alive, as Azure is going to try to be the DPS here on this point, but it's not going to be enough, especially when you're getting primaled out of it.
And for everybody paying attention, this is still the first fight. So many ultimates have been invested. Apex really wants to keep it here, and they are going to be able to finally cap the point. So this percentage is starting to be taken for the side of Horizon Apex, but man, that fight was not easily won.
Definitely not, and I feel like the strength Apex is using against them is that Apex is able to split their team in two and really kind of pincer them. You know that Phobos is always going to stick together, so that when you kind of pincer them, it's going to be hard for them to come back. And look, here's the kills coming in, but they're investing all of their ult to kind of win this fight. And I think if you're on the side of Apex, it's time to just kind of do a full restart. You have the ult advantage a little bit away, but he's going to use the Diva Bomb anyway.
I think the goal there was to pop the Diva Bomb, hoping that the point didn't tick over. You then remake on the point, try to get some more percentage, but it didn't work out that way. So it is going to be a lost Diva Bomb for that one. Although we do have Jersey available with this Pharaoh Barrage. And if anybody's able to follow up on the damage that Jersey can get out, even in a second or two, that's going to be enough to swing the fight in their favor. And it's especially helpful if you hit the right click across the map, taking out your enemy Zenyatta.
Definitely, he's gonna get right back into the fight, but that goes the res. You don't have that while Archimage still does, so that's something that you have to watch out for. These Winstons are kind of trading back and forth, but here comes the Diva Barrage. Here comes the Pharaoh Barrage while Diva eats it all up, and it's just the ultimate fight on this point right now.
Yeah, and Swanky Tiger is going to get some value out of that Diva Bomb, taking out the Zen and the Winston on the other side. That's going to be more than enough, but now the rest of the kills are coming in. Horizon Apex wiped off of the point, and that's going to be 50% cap on this map for the side of Phobos, looking very comfortable in the defensive position. Not a whole lot of ultimates available for either side. It looks like Hoplo is going to be the first one on the side of Horizon Apex to have his ult up.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to kind of... I feel like Phobos is like a brick wall. You're not really gonna. If they run towards you, you're just gonna kind of get hit with a brick wall because they're always together. They're always grouped up. And I feel like the way to take that on really is to fight it on both sides, and that's what we're gonna see here. Haplo is gonna start pooping off the Zenyatta with the Primal Rage off the side. There he goes, and that might open up this fight.
Yeah, Azure, I'm sure, is very much regretting that positioning. Got moved off very quickly. The entire fight went on the side of Horizon Apex. They are going to be able to reclaim the point. So Hoplo, I mean, really just... It's a smart ult, but I don't think there's any Winston who wouldn't pop that Primal right there. Make the enemies Zenyatta pay for that positioning.
Exactly, yeah. You stand near an edge and you have an environmental ability. You just go ahead and use it. And now since they have this point, it's going to be hard for... Phobos to kind of retake it, and these Zens are trading back and forth, but Quick Max is going to take out Tyler.
Yeah, first pick going with the 1v1 showdown. Quick Max getting the better of his counterpart. Justice is going to be raining from above, but dies before you can get any value on it. Is Jersey. And then the 3K with the Diva Bomb. It wasn't me. Yes, it was. Oh, I'm sorry, Serial Killer opening up on that point. I mean, what a fantastic bomb. Is it going to be enough?
They are able to flip, or they're all able to not even like flip the point the whole time. Tyler's going to do some cleanup work there, but that's all on the shoulders of Serial Killer. I mean, goodness gracious, I thought Apex, that was a lost fight, and look at this, Tyler's still not going to let anyone get in the way, escape, and there goes the res. So before this fight even engages, there's no more res, and Tyler's going to try to take some pop shots.
So they are going to be able to initiate the overtime on the back of Quick Mags, getting a pick onto the enemy Zenyatta. That's a huge deal. Trance is not going to be built this entire fight, so it's going to have to be Horizon Apex winning the fight quickly. But as you're coming in with that Transcendence, is going to make that very difficult. Tank staying alive, Serial Killer taking out a mech. This is not looking good for Horizon Apex.
But definitely not. If they want to lose this point, then they have to lose it decisively. You don't really kind of want to stagger in like this, and that might be rough because now you're going back and forth, and the shield was still up, and Tyler goes down, and the point gets flipped over, and you have to engage fairly quickly because it's already at 92%.
Trance is going to be popped there just to stay alive. It wasn't me trying to make it to the point. Keep your tanks alive. Give them an opportunity to do something here. But opening up with the first kill is going to be It Wasn't Me. Coming out of the Trance, getting a kill instead. And Jersey's going to follow up, looking perfect with these shots, taking out the Mercy. What a fantastic play there. Age is taken out. And Justice coming from above once again. I think that's his 5th Farrah barrage of this fight. Jersey has just been pumping out the Justice, but Quick Mags is not going to make it easy.
And you know what? I think it all came down to the two supports of Phobos dying first in that final fight. You lose the supports, then all the damage you do after that is final. There is no healing from that. And that's really the key to Apex taking a 2-0 lead here in Lijiang Tower. I mean, goodness, they're definitely learning their opponent, and they know how to counter them now. And I love this play here. This shows them how intelligent in the game sense that the Horizon Apex has. I don't know if they necessarily have a captain or like a voice leader or something like that, but if they do, I'm going to give all props to them because, man, that's a great way for your team to kind of learn your opponent and come back from this.
Yeah, not a whole lot of panic coming in. I mean, for either side, both of these teams are very smart with their decision making, but it just feels like Horizon Apex is so patient. They're rarely found out in a bad spot here. Opening up, though, it is going to be the Brigitte coming in from Hopro. Excited to see this one. Lots of health pool, trying to keep everybody alive. Is going to be that Moira.
Definitely, they're going to run the ambulance yet again. It's something that they've loved to run throughout this whole scrim. It's something they're practicing a lot, so I imagine that's what they're going to do often. And there goes Hapro.
And that is unlucky, Hapro. Getting taken out by the completely calculated charge, let's say, on the side of Hoplo. That's very scary to see. But now the kills are starting to come in for Phobos here. Point looks like it's going to be capped. No, it is stopped before the cap is coming in. So this might be Phobos getting the better of this first fight.
Definitely. I mean, they're all kind of putting the pressure back on the spawn of Horizon Apex. And while that was happening, they started coming in the back cap. But look at this, Haplo's back in the fight. That Reinhardt is back, ready to deal some damage, doing that, those big swings, 75 damage each swing with that Reinhardt. So you have to be careful.
And look at Tyler on the balcony, dumping out a ton of damage, finally getting some kills out of it as well. Now it's looking like Horizon Apex back onto the point here. A little bit of time was taken on the side of Phobos, but this is a very confident team fight for Horizon Apex. And now they're going to be holding fairly aggressively here, especially if they want to get value from Jersey's ult. You really want to use that the moment they walk in.
Oh, yeah, definitely. You want to be decisive in your ult making. You don't want to kind of win the moment. But look at that. Tyler's going to take out the only person who could really challenge Jersey, and that's Quick Mags on that McCree. And look, they're just going to pull out right away. They're saying that we're not going to take on that Farrah without our hit scan player. So they're going to do a restart. And look, that buys them another 10%. Goodness.
And pretty much even on the ultimate charge is going to be the Zaryas for both sides. A lot of value to be gotten from the Zarya, but another fight has been lost before it was even started. These picks that are coming in once every 15 to 20 seconds are working beautifully in Horizon's favor.
Yeah, good. Yeah, I mean, look, they keep staggering them every day. They finally get back to full strength, use the D-drop to kind of engage, but there goes the Farrah barrage, kind of taking out, putting a lot of damage into there. But there was both support ults invested as well, so they're gonna kind of stay up. But Serial Killer's not losing this fight.
And look at this, the reverse graviton surge coming in from Serial Killer. Fantastic job of the Pharaoh Barrage from Dersey on that one. Was able to eat through the entire Lucio ult and the health pool on the enemy team's Reinhardt, which, once the Reinhardt was down, there was really no more damage mitigation on the side of Phobos, so they just started dropping like flies.
Yeah, definitely. And I don't know, man. Apex is so good at these stagger kills. They know exactly who to target, and that's exactly what they're doing. They're so smart at using their ultimate when they need to, and there goes half blow. So that might be an opening pick. Their Aegis is popping off.
Yeah, walking in with the Coalescence on Azure there was beautiful. It's such a great way to initiate a fight. You know you're going to get some damage at the very least, and if they do try to push into you with the Coalescence, you can just heal up your teammates. All of your tanks get a chance to stay alive for even longer in that fight. So, Azure really showing off why the Moira belongs in this team comp.
And you know what? If you're Phobos, you have to be scared right now, just because they don't really need to. Apex rather doesn't really need to save their ults for anything because they win one fight, they win the map. So they essentially are going to try to use all their ultimates when they can. Quick Max is going to take out. It wasn't me though.
Decision point here for Horizon Apex. Do we want to try to all in this fight? Definitely not. The time is on their side. But Tyler never cares about that. He's going to get picks the whole time. Again, back capping. Is he going to get it once more? He's got to get a few more kills to get it for free, and Quick Mags is not going to be having it, taking out Tyler. Man, that was close. We almost saw a repeat of what we saw on the last map. But now the Toblerone team coming in from Serial Killer with Dersey on the Pharaoh Barrage, and it's 3.
Yep, that's what I was saying. They don't need to save their ults for anything. They win one fight, they essentially win the map, and all that's left is Quick Max here. He's going to see if he can find anyone, but he's taken out by the Pharaoh, and he's going to solo shatter him. Oh, this poor guy. So that map is going to go to Horizon Apex.
What a back and forth that we just saw there. Phobos did look like they were back into a good position, but once Horizon Apex was able to get the advantage in that fight, they just kept pressing their advantage, getting kill after kill, spreading those kills out. It was a constant stagger, and by the time Phobos had any chance, they just completely lost and trying to initiate. And there you go, Dersey getting the boot kills. Looks like Hoplo is hitting him around more than enough, and that's going to be Horizon Apex taking Lijiang Tower.
Yeah, a definitive win here in this final map, and all around, I love seeing both these teams play. I know the strengths and weaknesses that both these teams have, and I love kind of seeing that, learning these teams slowly over and over again, just kind of watching them go head to head, learning their play styles. And while Apex kind of got the better number here of Phobos doesn't really have anything to be ashamed of. They performed so well. Their synergy throughout their whole team is insane. Some of the best I've seen throughout, and both these teams should be proud.
Yeah, absolutely. They should feel really, really good. Watching them just have this slugfest was fantastic. So I do want to say thank you to Horizon, Apex, and Phobos for giving us a great show. Thank you, everybody, for watching at home. If you like what you see, don't forget to follow, subscribe, like, comment, follow my MySpace, everything that you can do online. Make sure you're doing it. Give us that support. We love to help out with more Overwatch content. And also, keep in mind, we're almost to 1,000 members in our Discord as well. If you do want an invitation to see some more of this high play gameplay yourself, if you want to join up on a team, if you just want to learn a little bit more about Overwatch, different ways that you can, associate yourself with it, get into a bigger community, let us know. We can't wait to get to 1,000 members. For my good friend Pulse, my name is Argander. Thank you so much for watching, and have a good night.